So heading into this game, nobody expected the Bears to really put any points on the board. So expectations were sky high for the 49ers defense. And when we saw a couple of touchdowns, there's a little second guessing going on. But as we all know, penalties were the real reason Chicago was able to move the ball. And there's just coverage bust. So let's go over the two plays where the 49ers just, I wouldn't call it bad luck, but this first play, all right, Justin Fields scrambles to the left. So again, the 49ers are in just a simple cover three. So he has the deep third. Both cornerbacks. This corner, Tayshaun Gibson, who was just recently promoted to the active roster, he has a deep third. And this is the safety he's going to buzz, so it's 3 buzz. Safety is responsible for any route in this area. So scramble drill, as you'll see, is going to go into effect here. So Fields takes his drop. Okay. The reason that these touchdowns are not going to be sustainable against 49ers defenses. So if you go back to the top, turn your stopwatch on. As soon as it's hiked, from the time the ball is snapped to the time Fields is flushed from the pocket, it's just under 4 seconds. You should be in the 3.9 range. That tells you it's probably not going to happen again. All right, so back to the field. As you can see, Fields rolls all the way to the left. And there's Dante Pettis, of all people, all the way wide open to the backside. So go back to the top. All right, so as I said, the pass rush gets home. So let's watch the secondary now. Pettis is going to curl up right behind where Hufanga is. So it's actually a really good route. Get to his blind spot. If you're Hufanga, you're thinking, as I mentioned, he's responsible for all the routes in this area. He's probably thinking he sees Pettis fly by in his peripherals. Pettis is probably running a dig. He's probably across the field. So you get the post route to the top of the screen. Gibson does a good job of not chasing that because usually if this guy is running a post, there's going to be somebody coming back from the other way. So good job by Gibson here. Ward picks up the post. He passes the post off to Ward. So good job on the back end here. See to the top of the screen. Emmanuel Mosley takes the last thread over here. So we have Samuel Womack and Emmanuel Mosley. Again, so the 49ers play top-down coverage. There's no reason to drive on these throws. Again, they play this really well for the most part. Take away the deeper ones, make them throw to the underneath throws, and you rally in that and make a tackle. However, bottom of the screen, because Hufanga doesn't know where this guy is. And here's Dre Greenlaw, I believe, again. So Greenlaw sees the running back. He goes with the running back. He's probably thinking, I don't have to worry about the guy behind me, because that's not my responsibility. So, like, technically, yes, it's on Hufanga, but it's tough to blame people for being human in this example. And this comes after just gushing about Hufanga and his instincts and relating to receivers. And sure enough, on the play that he didn't, it ends up in a touchdown. But how many times are we going to see this? A quarterback run across the field, play lasts about 10 seconds. And they always talk about plastering and sticking to receivers. And after the game, Hufanga took onus of this. Like he knew that he messed up, and he talked about just plastering and sticking to wide receivers. So really, just a tough break. A good play. I think that's another part about this. So right there, he spins out of a tackle from Armstead, who beats his man. This should be a sack. That's what we should be talking about. Fields does a great job being an athlete, keeps his eyes down the field. Most quarterbacks would probably just try to tuck this, not have the wherewithal, the awareness to look back. He does. Pettis makes a good play. So Hufanga was wrong, yes. Fields was good. And Pettis, of course. So there's the first touchdown. All right, this next touchdown, this is probably one of the biggest busts that I've seen under a DeMeco Ryans coach team. So let's just watch it through. This was the long touchdown, or not a long, it's a 20-yard touchdown pass. But so we have a wide receiver open. And there were essentially 3 guys running to 1 guy, 2 guys running to 1 guy. So, man, that's tough to do. You really don't see these type of blunders. So the motion messes with the team. So to me, this screams man coverage on both sides. We know it's man on the backside. So 2 receivers, a cornerback, a safety. So 21 personnel. So the 49ers are in their base defense. You have a tight end to the bottom. The way that Emmanuel Mosley lines up to a nub tight end here, and the way that he crosses the field with him. So he's chasing. So that tells me it's man coverage. Other reason, if he's running by himself, somebody's probably responsible for him. There's no, like, everybody's chasing somewhere, somebody. When you see backs to the quarterback like this, it's probably man coverage all across the board. So, back to the top. My initial thought when I saw this was, it was Tayshaun Gibson's fault. So, as you'll see, the wide receiver is going to motion in here. Tayshaun Gibson, see, he puts his left hand out right there. That's telling Charvarius Ward, Mooney Ward, that we're probably going to banjo this. And that means if somebody goes outside, you have him. If somebody goes inside, I have him. But the Bears do not make this easy by how they release. So, great job right there of Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles, linebacker, not letting the wide receiver get a free release. Unfortunately, for both DBs, they don't cover either of the wide receivers, either of the vertical eligible. So, look, they're both wrong, and I imagine that's just because of play action. But I wouldn't imagine this is a zone, like this is for sure not a zone turn. He's chasing like he's beat, so this isn't a zone turn. Here's how in my mind this should play out. Man coverage, we have, all right. So the linebackers generally are responsible for backside of the backfield. Because the play is away, Flannigan-Fowles probably has a fullback in the flat. Fred Warner probably has whoever the next back is, the final 3, or I guess the final 4 to that side. And he's going to be free, and he's going to be free. All right, so how it plays out, again, right there, based on that release, one of these two have to be here. By him pointing, I thought it was initially him. Still think it might be, but that would make Mooney have to chase the short crosser. So again, I don't want to sit here and tell you it's one or the other, but I know you can't have 2 eligible wide receivers running freely. Like, somebody is wrong here, and more than likely it's both of them. And then as far as Hufanga goes, so if we're watching Hufanga right here, he's watching. He comes this way just like that, hesitant. He's second-guessing himself because there's 2 wide receivers wide open. So he's thinking, oh, I got to get this guy. Oh, this guy's open too. And too late. And honestly, Greenlaw, he can be in no man's land here just because he doesn't have any real responsibilities. Whenever the running back blocks, essentially, he's freed up. So there's somebody for the quarterback. Man, I don't know if we'll see something like that again from the 49ers defense because we haven't seen it in a while. Let's see if we see anything different from this angle or what happened with the pass rush. So Charles Omenihu, Kevin Givens, Javon Kinlaw, good protection there. One more time, so watch the linebackers, how they flow. Yeah. That's man coverage. And neither the cornerback or the safety. I really think it's as simple as they were fooled from the jump by the play action fake. But either way, that's a bust that cannot happen and was the difference in the game.